Casey, of course, with Hangold Capital Management. And Casey, when it comes to investing, I guess it's almost in a way like making out a budget. You have to determine why you're investing and where the money's earmarked to go.
It's critically important, and earning a long-term return on stocks means you have to actually hold them for the long term, and the long term is actually made up of many short-term periods. It's easy for me to say you have to ignore the short run and think long run, but the key to success is you got to get through these short-term periods. We're wired to focus more on the short term, but the magic of compounding money happens over the long term.
And be ready for those things that could befall you, such as, and it happens, losing your job.
Yeah, so financially you have to be ready for that. That's why it's so important to have an emergency reserve. That way you're not forced to sell investments at an inopportune time, because job losses often come with recession, and that's when the stock market's usually down. So you have to have several months of money stashed away. Even in retirement you have to do this. You don't have a paycheck coming in anymore. You still have to plan for bear markets, so you have to have a safety net in place so you can deal not selling stocks at the wrong time and having reserve to deal with those income needs to be able to get those cash flows.
And bear markets aren't really specifically predictable, except that they will happen.
That's exactly right. And so it's very emotional when it happens, but hey, we understand that we're going to have a drop sometimes of a 10% drop in the market once a year, a 20% drop every couple of years, and a 30% drop every 7 to 10 years, but we still seem to be so surprised when it happens. Yeah, do you remember the Marshmallow experiment we talked about in the past? Mm-hmm. This is the famous study where the kids who had the willpower to forego eating one marshmallow for 10 minutes were rewarded with a second marshmallow later. They did great in life. But they were able to delay gratification. But I think what gets missed here is that if you actually watch the video of these little kids, these kids are going nuts. The kids who were able to do this, they had to distract themselves. They sang a song, play with their shoes, told stories, they're doing jumping jacks. I'm sure they're going nuts inside, but the only way they made it to the long run is they were effectively being able to manage the short run.
And as I mentioned, kind of like budgeting, you have to sort of write down why you're investing in what and where the funds are going to be spent.
That's right, because you're going to lose money sometimes, and what is the purpose of the savings? In most cases, once you write it down, you're going to find out its time frame of decades, not months. Also write down the keywords. Times will be tough. Stay the course.